into our child's pose. So let's go ahead and bring the feet behind us. The tips of the big toes touch. Sink the hips into the heels and go ahead and start to slowly bow the forehead onto the mat. Go ahead and close the eyes. Hi guys, just be careful with the door, please. Go ahead and close the eyes and make your way into a nice, comfortable position. So your knees can either be spread apart or together. Your arms can either stretch towards the front of the room with the palms facing down, or your arms can stretch towards the back of the room with the palms facing up. Make sure the shoulders and the neck are completely relaxed, allowing some space for the ears. And if you feel like you need a little bit of extra space, you have those blocks available to you. You can either rest a block on the chest, on the forehead. You can extend both hands forward, rest a pair of blocks underneath the palms. Or you can tuck a block underneath the sit bones with the legs completely together. So you have one posture with many options, and each option is going to give you a different sensation. Okay, honey, just be careful with the door. So notice which one feels the best for you, which one allows you to feel the most relaxed, bringing you to this very moment of time and space. And if the eyes are still open, we're going to go ahead and flutter them closed for a moment. And we're going to go ahead and begin with a nice, deep, collective breath. So beginning to take some oxygen in through those nostrils and filling it into the very center of your chest. Hold it there for a moment. And with the heaviest sigh of release, let it go all the way out through the mouth with an H-A. We're going to let that be the transition from everything that's going on around, everything that's happened since the last time you stepped foot on your mat. To all that is this very moment of time and space. So as you all know, we're going to share an hour with each other. Throughout that time, I invite you to invoke a sense of calm, stillness, and awareness throughout the entire class. So if at any given moment you feel tired, you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you just simply don't like what I'm teaching, you can bring yourself back into that child's pose position. And you are especially encouraged to move class through the breath, taking some vibrational exhales, any H-A, or a flutter of the lips even. Remember that those are not just some random noises that we are making. As the breath, so the person. Meaning, if the breath is staticky, restricted, choppy, held, any form of uncomfortable, the body will feel exactly the same physically. And you might find the mind distracted and wandering off. So if you can invoke a stillness of your breath, you can invoke a sense of stillness, not just physically, but mentally as well. So those are going to be the tools throughout your practice today. And so with that said, from our child's pose, begin to crawl those fingers all the way towards the front of the mat. Spread the fingertips wide, bring the hands to a shoulder width distance, armpits turning to face towards the heart to flatten the shoulders out completely. As you inhale, begin to gaze forward, slowly rock yourself up. Tuck your toes and press your tailbone up towards the ceiling, coming into the first downward facing dog press. So go ahead and begin to pedal it out. Remember, we're always going to clean every position up together. So try not to think about it so much. Do what feels automatically, just intuitively. And we're gonna go ahead and start by cleaning up the length of our down dog. So on an inhale, come to a plank position. When you get to that plank, notice if you had to walk the feet or hands forward or back. That means your down dog was a little too long or a little too short. So press back into that down dog, and instead of changing the length of your down dog, go ahead and just simply bend the knees. So maybe the lower back or the hamstrings are a little tight, and that could be what's causing you to feel like you need to maybe walk the hands or feet. So you'll just fix that by keeping those knees bent. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders are gonna stack in a diagonal line. Armpits rotated to face towards the heart, shoulders nice and relaxed. Elbows nice and active, pressing you away from the floor, feeling that back getting nice and tall, curling those sit bones up towards the ceiling. So we don't want to tuck our tailbone down. We want that booty poking towards the sky. Let that neck hang super heavy. Rather than looking at your fingers or looking towards the front of the room, go ahead and look in between your legs towards your feet. And you can begin by pedaling the feet out, bending one knee at a time, wiggling out those hips, softening up the hamstrings, shaking the head yes, and shaking the head no. And let's start by bringing the right foot right up towards the ceiling for a three-legged dog. Squeeze those elbows to press yourself away from the mat, and as you exhale, bring that right foot in between those hands, coming into a runner's lunge. So the right knee is gonna stack right on top of your ankle. Use your blocks if you need help to walk those feet forward. You wanna make sure that the knee isn't all the way to the back, but you also wanna make sure your knee is not so far forward that you're just kind of dumping all the way into it. Come to a place that you're able to lengthen the spine, open up the collarbones, and relax the shoulders. So in other words, avoid rounding the back. And on an inhale, go ahead and just kind of paddle yourself back and forth, softly opening up the inner thighs, stretching out the quads, and getting a nice little activation in the hamstrings. Bring your right hand to where your right foot is and walk your right foot outside of your right hand. So your hands are at a shoulder width distance now. From left to right, you have left hand, now right foot. Right big toe is gonna turn outward at a diagonal to open up the hip flexor, coming into a little lizard pose. Begin to kind of just pulse yourself up and down, starting to open up that inner hip flexor a little deeper. We'll add a little twist. So take your left hand to the center, twist through your belly button, wring out that waist, and reach your right hand straight up. Press your right hip back, left hip forward, squeeze your left leg. Make sure you're not dumping into this position. Keep those legs nice and active. One more breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Turn your right toes forward, and then step your left foot forward. Come into a forward fold. Hang heavy. So you're gonna bring two fists in between the arches of your feet, measuring out your inner hips with distance. Toes and heels are facing towards the front of the room in a nice straight line. Knees are not buckling in or out, and the belly should be folding right on top of the thighs. So again, for those of you whose lower back may be a little bit rounded, you'll notice there's a lot of space between your belly and your thighs. So to fix that, you keep those knees bent and you poke your booty up towards the ceiling. And just like earlier, we're gonna let that neck hang super heavy. Rather than looking towards the front of the mat, looking between those legs and between the toes. You're welcome to rest the hands on a pair of blocks or grab elbow to elbow. You can also wrap the peace fingers around the big toes, tuck the palms underneath the feet, or reach back to grab the ankles, whatever feels good for you. We'll take another moment to kind of just sway yourself from side to side. Feeling your body super heavy and super weightless at the same time. And then by keeping a micro bending in those knees, let's go ahead and start to slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, bring yourself up and come to standing. And as you get there, sweep those hands up towards the ceiling. Pinkies are gonna turn to face towards each other. Take a look at those feet to make sure they're still facing towards the front of the room in a nice straight line at an inner hips width distance. So again, we don't want the knees buckling in, we don't want them kind of sticking out. Belly in, tailbone down. So activate your pelvic floor and abdominal muscles so you don't have an interior pelvic hip thrust or a posterior pelvic hip thrust. And as you inhale, lengthen the spine, relax those shoulders away from the ears. Again, pinkies are facing towards each other. Let's add a little back bend. Squeeze those glutes forward, and as you inhale, lengthen from your belly button into your throat. Look up at those hands. Feel your heart lifting up. Take one more breath. Connect all those movements from the glutes up to the throat. Reach up and back. And exhale, swan dive down into a forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, draw those hands up to a half lift, bringing them to shins or to thighs. Again, notice if your back is rounded like this. If that's the case, you're gonna fix it by bending the knees, poking that booty back and pulling those shoulders away from the ears. And remember that your neck is connected to your spine, so we want a nice long spine, meaning we should all be looking towards the floor right now. Give yourself a nice big inhale here, relax those shoulders. And then exhale, place your hands down, step your feet back, and let's work through our first chaturanga into down dog. So come into a plank position. As you inhale, press yourself away from the mat. As you exhale, lower halfway down, coming into a push-up. Hold that push-up. Come onto the knuckles of your feet, squeeze your glutes, and press those hips forward. Inhale, lift the heart. Squeeze those elbows to straighten out the arms and pull the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And pedal it out. Bend the knees. Wiggle the hips. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. And let's go right into that left foot. Inhale, left foot rises up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step forward, runner's lunge. Bring it right in between those hands. Lengthen the spine, open up the heart center, relax the shoulders, and go ahead and pedal yourself forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Beautiful. Now take your right hand to where your right foot is. Walk your right foot out, your left foot, I'm sorry. Left hand to where the left foot is. Walk the left foot to the outside of your left hand. Turn your left big toe outward. Open up the hip with that toe and go ahead and pedal yourself forward and back a little bit. Start to just pulse yourself to slowly open up that hip flexor. And then bring your right hand to center. Twist through that waist. Lift that left hand straight up. Squeeze your right butt cheek. Press away through your right hand. Look up at those fingers. Inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down. Walk your left foot so that it's facing forward, and then drag that right foot towards the front, back into that forward fold. Hang heavy. And then we're gonna go right into that back bend. So sweep those hands up, pinkies turn to face. Inhale, reach up, reach back. Exhale, swan dive back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, feet back. Let's go through that chaturanga into that down dog. So inhale, plank. Exhale, push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful, everyone. Bend those knees. Wiggle out those hips. Breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. All right, foot reaches up towards the ceiling. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Bring it in between those hands. And this time, sweep those hands up towards the ceiling for high lunge. So pretty much the same position as we just did, but now we're standing up. Right knee is on top of the right ankle, so take a look at your side mirrors. Make sure you're not all the way back. Make sure you're not all the way forward either. And you're on the ball of your left foot. So your left heel should be in one straight line towards the ceiling, meaning, notice that that foot is kind of like rocking from one side to the other. Go ahead and fix it, because it's going to mess with your hips, and you want both hips facing forward. Belly in, tailbone down. Make sure your booty is not sticking out. And as you inhale, reach those hands up. Beautiful. We're gonna add a little bit of balance here. So as you exhale, squeeze your right leg. Kick your left foot back and reach those fingers forward for warrior three. If you have a pair of blocks and you would like to use some support, you can bring those blocks in front of you at their tallest setting, making sure wrists, elbows, and shoulders stack in a nice straight line. Stay for one more breath in that warrior three. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand either down to the mat or down to the block. Bring your left hand to your hip. Stay for a moment, find some balance. And as you inhale, slowly open up your left hip flexor. Stack your left rib on top of the right rib so that your heart is looking towards the ceiling. Take your time. Slow breath, slow movements. And when you're feeling nice and sturdy, reach that left hand straight up. Beautiful half moon pose. Inhale, look up at those fingers. Exhale, bring it down. Now let's switch. Left hand comes to the floor or to the block. Right hand is gonna come to your hip. And we're gonna reverse our half moon. So start to pull your right hip back. Swing your left hip forward and twist from underneath that belly button. Wringing out your waist, reaching your right hand straight up. Breathe in, turn your neck, look up at those fingers. Exhale, twist further. Inhale, last breath. Exhale, gently come back. If you want to challenge yourself, reach those hands forward to warrior three. One big breath. Exhale, plant your left foot down, back up to a high lunge. Beautiful. Squeeze your left butt cheek, look up at those fingers. Inhale, lift the heart. Reach up, reach back. Exhale, hands down. Right foot back. And you're gonna work through your chaturanga into your down dog. Your breath, your movement, your rhythm, and your pace. So we'll all meet back in downward facing. When you make it there, go ahead and inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And just pedal it out. Catch your breath. And when you're ready, on an inhale, draw that left foot up. Three-legged dog, left side. Exhale, go ahead and step it forward. Inhale, hands up. High lunge. Beautiful. Squeeze those legs as you exhale. Lengthen through the spine as you inhale. Relax the shoulders as you exhale. Press into your left foot and inhale, squeeze that left leg to straighten it out. Kick your right foot back. Inhale, reach those fingers forward, warrior three. Balance through that exhale. One more breath. Exhale, left hand down, right hand to hip. You can use those blocks once again. Find your balance. And as you inhale, begin to open up your right hip flexor. Slowly stack right rib on top of left rib. Open up that heart. Breathe in. And when you're ready, reach your left hand up, your right hand up. Inhale, look up at those fingers. One more breath. And exhale, switch. Right hand comes down to the block or to the mat. Left hand comes to your hip. Find your balance, pull your left hip back, twist your right hip forward. Turn from underneath your belly button, swing your left hand up, reverse that half moon, gorgeous. Inhale, turn your neck, look up at those fingers. Exhale, twist further. Last breath. Inhale, come back to center, try to challenge yourself, reaching those hands forward to warrior three for a moment. And then bending your left knee. Coming onto the ball of your right foot, hands up, high lunge. Good job, guys. Squeeze those legs. Turn those pinkies to face towards each other. Squeeze your right butt cheek. Look up at those fingers. Inhale, lift that heart. Keep squeezing those legs, getting nice and active in that lunge. One more breath. Exhale, hands down. Left foot back. Chaturanga to down dog. Beautiful. Inhale, nostrils as you get there. And exhale with an H-A. Gorgeous. Let it go. Paddle it out. Inhale one more time. And exhale one more time. All right, right foot comes up. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, rise back up into that high lunge. All right, we're gonna add a lot more balance this time. So press into your right foot, squeeze that leg. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, kick your left foot back. Inhale, fingers forward. Warrior three. Beautiful. Inhale, come up to standing. Bring your left knee in towards the chest. Flex your toes so that they're facing towards you. You don't want to have your foot just relaxing because then there's no activation in those muscles. So make sure everything is nice and active. Check in with your pelvic floor. Make sure you're not swinging those hips too far back or too far forward. Belly in, tailbone down. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, squeeze your left leg to straighten it out. Beautiful. Inhale again. Exhale, squeeze your left leg. Try to pump it up a little higher. Gorgeous. All right, we're going to move into pistol squat from here. Inhale deeply. Exhale, bend your right knee. Squat down as best as you can. Nice big breath. And then exhale. Whew. Pump it back up. Bring your left knee back in towards your chest. Kick that left foot back. Inhale, reach those hands forward. Exhale, swing back up into that standing pose. We're gonna do it one more time. You got this, guys. Belly in, tailbone down. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze that foot. Again, inhale, long spine. Exhale, lift it higher. Breathe in. Exhale, pistol squat. You can bring the hands to heart center also if that helps you balance. Bend that knee, squat down. Breathe in. Exhale, pump up, good. Inhale, hands up, bend that left knee in towards that chest. Reach those feet back. Inhale, fingers forward. Bend your right knee, left heel, left foot down. Hands up, back into that high lunge. Good job, everyone. Squeeze your left butt cheek, look up at those fingers. Inhale, reach up, reach back. Exhale, hands down, right foot back. Chaturanga to down dog. Or just catch your breath once again. Big inhale through the nose and big exhale through the mouth. Pedal the knees, wiggle out those hips, pedal out those heels. Take another breath or two in downward facing. And then when you're ready, let's do the left side. So inhale, left foot rises. Squeeze those elbows, press yourself away, get some length into that left leg. And then exhale, step it forward. Bring it in between those hands. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. A high lunge. Exhale, find your ground. Press into that left foot. Start to shift the body weight there. Inhale, squeeze that left leg to straighten it out. Reach those fingers forward. Kick your left foot back as you exhale. Pause in that warrior three. Inhale, hands up. Right knee to chest. Flex that foot to face towards you. Belly in, tailbone down. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, squeeze your right foot. Straighten it out to the best of your ability. Inhale again. Exhale, pump it up. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Start to bend your left knee down. Sink those hips, pistol squat. Inhale, push up. Right knee to chest. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, fingers forward, warrior three. Exhale, right knee to chest, hands up. Breathe in. Exhale, straighten out the legs. Reach those hands to heart center. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, bend that left knee. Sink those hips down. Inhale, press up. Good job, guys. All right, right knee to chest. And again, just catch your breath as you make it there. Bending the knees, pedaling out the heels, wiggling out those hips. As you inhale, look at your fingertips. Walk or hop those feet towards the front of the mat. Go ahead and come and hang heavy once again into a forward fold. And take a moment to just be super heavy and super weightless at the same time. Maybe grabbing elbow to elbow, swinging yourself from side to side. Shaking your head yes. And shaking your head no. And with a micro bend in those knees, very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, begin to pick yourself up. Let your chin be the last thing to rise, and slowly come to standing. Wiggle the toes together so that they are completely touching. And we're gonna start off with the hands on the hips. So you're gonna shift your body weight to your left foot. You're gonna bend your right knee. Open up your right hip flexor, so right knee is turning outward. And as you inhale, you're just gonna slide your right foot in between the left inner calf or thigh. Keep that belly in, tailbone down, so make sure your booty's not sticking out here. Activate that pelvic floor. Find your balance, inhale. And then bring those hands to heart center for tree pose. you want to add a little bit more balance, take another breath, reach those hands up. And you can sway those arms from side to side, dancing tree. As you exhale, bring those hands back down to heart. And then slowly drop your right foot down. Relax those hands, maybe pedal it out. Relax the calves, probably on fire by now after everything that we've done so far. And then bring your hands back to your hips. Shift the body weight to the right foot. Bend your left knee, open up that hip flexor. Inhale, slide that left foot to your inner calf or thigh. And as you inhale, slowly bring those hands to heart, tree pose, left side. Stay for a breath or two. Relax the shoulders. Beautiful, guys. Inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, dancing tree. One more breath. And then exhale, hands to heart. Drop your left knee down. Go ahead and take your right ankle and hook it to the top of your left quadriceps. So you're making like a figure 4, pretty much. Good. Flex the foot so that it's easier for you to open up the hip flexor. Nice active muscles here. Hips are in a nice straight line, so make sure you're not kind of swaying to one side. And again, don't stick the booty out. Bring those hands to the heart. Give yourself a nice big breath. And as you exhale, bend your left knee and start to sink your hips down. As you are sinking your hips down, you're squeezing your right butt cheek, you're opening up your right thigh, you're feeling a nice stretch in that hip flexor, in the piriformis muscles of your glutes. Breathe in, lengthen through the spine. Relax the shoulders, exhale, sink deeper. Good, last breath, breathe in. Exhale, pick yourself up. Good, drop it down, bend it out. Shake it out, pedal out those hips. Bend out those knees. Maybe even kind of like sway yourself on your toes. Just kind of relaxing the muscles that are being worked right now. Bring those feet back together. And then bring that left foot up. Hook the ankle to the top of your right thigh now, your quadricep muscle, a little bit above your knee, so make sure you're not pushing into that knee. As you inhale, hands come to heart. As you exhale, bend your right knee, begin to sink those hips down. Keep those hips squared, make sure you're not leaning on one side over than the other. Long spine. Squeeze those legs, see if you can get deeper. Beautiful, 2 more breaths, lengthen through that spine, try not to lean forward. Good, exhale, sink deeper. Last one, breathe in, and then exhale, squeeze yourself back up, good job. Paddle it out, bend those knees, wiggle out those hips. All right, let's move into eagle. So you're gonna open up the arms, you're gonna cross right elbow underneath left. So there's 2 options here. Option 1, if the shoulders are super tight, you're just gonna grab opposite shoulders, like you're hugging yourself. If you have a little more space, you can bring the palms, kind of like high-fiving the knuckles to one another. If you still have a little bit more space, you're gonna take your right hand, and you're gonna send it counterclockwise around so you can high-five yourself. That makes sense, right? So you have this option, 3 options. Shoulders, knuckles, or high five. Beautiful. On an inhale, you're gonna take your right knee up towards your chest, find your balance, and as you exhale, you're gonna cross your right knee over the left. Now, if you have a lot of space, you can also bring your right foot around, kind of tucking the back of your toes in the back of your left calf. I can't do it, so I can't demonstrate, but it's pretty much what you're doing with your hands on your legs. Make sure your hips are nice and square here, so make sure you're not leaning to one side. And let's get into eagle. So take a nice big breath, inhale. Exhale, start to sink those hips down. Now let's open up the shoulders a little bit. Start to point those elbows up as you inhale. Start to round that spine. Tuck those elbows into the center of your chest as you exhale. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, squeeze, straighten it out, and release. Pedal it all out. Bend the knees. You can rock those arms from side to side. Oh, there's so many in here. Go ahead and kind of like rock on your tippy toes a little bit, softening out the muscles in the feet. Take one more breath. And let's move to the left side. So left side. Left elbow crosses under the right. You can either grab the shoulders, hug yourself. You can high five the back of your knuckles. Or you can take the left hand and in a clockwise rotation, go ahead and high five yourself. So once again, 3 options. Make sure also that wherever you are, you're pulling those shoulders away from the ears. So you don't want to hunch your shoulders up. You should immediately feel a stretch happening in your shoulders, no matter which variation that you're taking. Whatever variation you're taking all depends on how tight your shoulders are. So make sure it feels good to you. All right, inhale, start to bring that left knee in towards your chest. Start to crisscross that left knee over the right leg and begin to sink those hips down. Eagle pose. Tuck that tailbone, make sure you're not sticking the booty out. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, sink lower. All right, let's open up the chest a little bit deeper. Inhale, begin to look up. Point those elbows up towards the ceiling. Continue to pull those shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Suck your belly in. And start to pull those elbows in towards your sternum, center of your chest. And again, continue to pull those shoulders away from the ears. Last breath, come back up to neutral. Exhale, squeeze your right leg. Release it down. And again, shake it out. Beautiful. Bend the knees. Wiggle the hips. Pedal out those feet. Now let's go ahead and bring the hands to the hips now. Wiggle those toes together. Find your balance. Once again, ground into that mat. On an inhale, you're going to bring your right knee in towards your chest. And then you're just going to open up your right hip flexor. Go ahead and do some circles with that. Just small or very large circles in a clockwise rotation. So you're opening the hip at an outer rotation. Take another breath and then keep that knee open. 2 options. Option 1, reach that right hand on the inside of your right leg. Grab the calf. Option 2, peace fingers to right big toe. So you are really opening up that right hip flexor. If you do have your hands by your peace fingers to your big toe, make sure that that spine is long. So in other words, I don't want to see this. I want to see this. If you cannot achieve this, then I want you to do this instead. All right, take a nice big inhale, find your balance. And as you exhale, begin to slowly straighten it out to the best of your ability. Continue to open up that hip flexor. Stay for a few breaths. Slow movements. Slow inhales. Oops, slow exhales. Good job, guys. Good. Last one. Beautiful. Make sure you're opening up the hip, not just stretching out the leg. Good. All right, go ahead and bring it down. Let's do the left side now. Wiggle those feet together. Hands to hip. Belly in, tailbone down. So pelvic floor is still active here. Inhale, left knee to chest. Exhale, open it up. And this time you're going to give it counterclockwise rotations to open up that hip flexor. So remember, if you're doing clockwise rotations here, you're giving your hip an inner rotation. We want to give it an outer rotation so we can prepare it for the next pose that's coming. One more breath. Breathe in. And then keep that leg open as you exhale. Reach your hand down, either grabbing the calf or peace fingers to big toes. Inhale, long spine, hips open. Exhale. exhale, start to slowly straighten out that leg. Open up that hip. Keeping the knees bent is still an option. You don't have to have your legs super high up. You don't have to have it super straight either. Hip opener is the most important sensation that you're feeling in the stretch. 2 more breaths. Good job. I think our right foot is a little bit sturdier than our left for all of us. Slowly go ahead and bring it back down. Good work. All right. Last one. Bend it out. See how much time we have. Wow, time is really fast today. All right, bend it out. Hands to hips. Actually, let's do hands to heart for this one. Breathe in, hands to heart. Exhale, right knee to chest. Okay. Cross your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Exhale, start to twist your spine. Reach your right hand back. If you want a big challenge, go ahead and turn your neck, look at those fingers. If you want even more of a challenge, begin to slowly straighten out your right leg. And again, keeping that knee moderately bent is still an option. 2 more breaths, slow movements. Exhale. Last one. Good balance, everybody. Bring it back to center. Good job, guys. Drop it down as you exhale. Go ahead and shake it out. Rock those toes, bend those knees. Good, wiggle those hips. All right. Breathe in, hands to heart, belly in, tailbone down, squeeze those abs. Exhale, left knee to chest. Flex those toes, make sure they're facing up towards you. Remember, if you're not flexing, you're not activating. So nice and active. Exhale, crisscross your right hand over to the left. Breathe in. Slowly twist your spine. Maybe challenge yourself by looking back. Gorgeous. Maybe challenge yourself a little bit further by softly straightening out that leg. Good, guys. 2 more breaths. Breathe in deeply. Exhale, twist further. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Last one. And then exhale back to center. Good work. All right, separate those feet to a hips width distance. Sweep those hands up. Pinkies turn to face. Squeeze those glutes. Press those hips forward. And inhale, lift your heart. Reach up, reach back. Exhale, swan dive down. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. Feet back, and chaturanga into downward facing dog. Beautiful work, everybody. Go ahead and catch your breath in that down dog. Bend those knees. Wiggle those hips. Shake your head yes. And shake your head no. And we're going to move into pigeon from here. So as you inhale, kick your right foot up. Squeeze those elbows to push yourself away from that mat, getting that right foot nice and tall. Bend your right knee and let's open that hip to the left side of the room. And again, just draw some clockwise rotations in your right knee to open up that hip flexor. Stay for another breath or 2. And then exhale. Step that right foot forward, bring it in between those hands. Begin to walk your right foot over towards your left hand, and as you get there, open up the hip so that you roll onto your right pinky toe. Start to drop your right knee and your left thigh to the mat, setting up for your pigeon. Remember, hips are in a nice straight line. So for anybody that ends up falling to one side, if that is the case, you're going to take a block and push yourself up to align those hips. If you need an extra block, you can take it and place it underneath your right butt cheek so your hips are squared. Nice long spine, shoulders relaxed, collarbones open. And we're going to maintain that length in the upper body as we begin to crawl ourselves forward So we don't want to start rounding off the back. We want to essentially draw the heart towards the ground. And you can rest the chest or the elbows or the forehead on a block. Or you can rest it all the way on your mat. And we're going to hold it for about 5 breaths. So make sure you find yourself in a place where you can feel comfortable to relax. If it feels absolutely painful, flip onto your back and take a figure 4 instead. But let every inhale kind of travel into every single corner and space in your body. And allow every exhale to melt you a little bit deeper. Softening out the hips. And allowing you to fall deeper and deeper into this pose. Begin to take your final inhale. And then as you exhale, press into those palms to peel yourself up. Tuck your left toes, send your right foot back. And let's chaturanga our way to down dog so that we can take the left side together. And take a moment to pedal everything out. Wiggle the hips, bend the knees. Pedal out those heels. Relax the joints and the limbs, the lower limbs. And on an inhale, kick that left foot up towards the sky. Squeeze the elbows, press yourself away from the mat, get some length into that left leg. And then bend that left knee, open that hip, this time to the right. And this time, counterclockwise circles. Opening that hip flexor and outer rotation. One more breath. And then step it forward. Bring it in between those hands. Good. All right, walk that left foot over towards the right hand. When you get there, open up the hip. Slide your left knee and your right thigh down. Square out those hips. Beautiful. Inhale, long spine. Relax the shoulders. Exhale, chest to floor, pigeon pose. Make sure that your right foot is in line with your right leg, so it's not twisting to one side or the other. And as you inhale, lengthen your spine. Open up your collarbones. As you exhale, relax your shoulders. Maybe melt your chest and hips closer down to the floor, to the mat. And give yourself 5 more breaths like this. Take your final inhale. And then press the palms to the mat to pick yourself up as you exhale. Step your right foot, your left foot back, and flow through your chaturanga into a child's pose this time. Those knees to the mat, sink the hips to the heels and the forehead down. Melt those shoulders away from the ears. And start to softly rock your forehead from side to side. Feeling the vertebrae in your spine. Wiggling from the base of the skull. All the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Relaxing the neck, the shoulders, the erector spinae muscles, so those long, beautiful muscles that are parallel to your spine. Relax those hips, feeling the sit bones melting closer towards the heels. Feel your heart, your breath softening, softly slowing down. As you inhale, begin to gently peel yourself up. And as you get to seated, go ahead and roll onto your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Go ahead and separate them. Stack the ankles to the knees. And you're gonna reach those hands up, either grabbing calves, ankles, pinky toe, or big toe sides of the feet. Open up those hips, draw the knees in towards the armpits. Make sure your entire back body is completely flat on the floor. And as you get to your happy baby, you can sway yourself from side to side. If you want to give your hamstrings a final little stretch, you can extend one leg out at a time, maybe both. Just doing whatever feels good to you. And then whenever you're ready, begin to extend your legs to the floor. Flap your feet open. Relax your arms. You can either have the arms by the sides with the palms facing up, or you can bring the right hand to the heart and the left hand to the belly. Tuck your tailbone. Make sure that your lower back is not arching. Tuck your chin towards your chest so that your neck isn't crunching either. And begin to slowly close the eyes. We're going to start to finish our last few moments of class off in a meditation. So, how we talked about in the beginning of the class, as the breath, so the person. So again, meaning if your breath is any form of obstructed, restricted, uncomfortable, your body and your mind feels it. So rather than focusing on quieting the mind, focus on the sound and the rhythm of your inhales and your exhales instead. Every time you've noticed that the mind has wandered off, bring yourself back to the breath. And with every out breath that you take, feel your back body becoming heavier and heavier as it presses against your mat, melting you deeper and deeper into a nice state of meditation, which we call Shavasana. This time you can start to softly reawaken the body. You can begin by wiggling the toes, curling the hands into a ball, creating a fist. As you inhale, you can bring your knees in towards your chest. And as you exhale, you can come over to your right side, coming into a fetal position for a moment. Then take your palms to the mat and on an inhale, very gently bring yourself up into a comfortable seated position. So take whichever seated pose is comfy for you. You can do wide leg, straight leg, cross leg, whatever feels good, making sure the body is 100% at ease here. We're going to close the eyes and rest the hands on the lap. Palms can either face up for receiving or face down for grounding. We're going to finish the class off with an Om. If you don't feel comfortable joining in an Om, then go ahead and just take a breath in and a breath out with us. So let's all go ahead and start with an inhale through the nostrils. Hold it at the very top. With the eyes remaining closed, softly bring those hands to heart center for Namaskar. May all beings everywhere be free from suffering and from pain. May we be guided, and may we be of service to others. Namaste.